Let's get more on that now. We can speak to Lieutenant General David Deptula. He was commander of the no-fly zone in Iraq and of the Air Operations Centre for the opening phases of the Operation Enduring Freedom in Afghanistan. So you have considerable experience. Thank you very much for talking to us. With your experience, do you think the US is heading now for war with Iran?
I don't think that's necessarily a logical conclusion. I think the fact of the matter is the Iranian attacks on the ships, the Gulf of Oman recently, should really be an issue of international concern, as these were not U.S. ships attacked, but ones owned by Japan and Norway. So if you were to ask me what the next move should be, a coalition of nations seeking peace and freedom of navigation in international waters should really assemble an alliance to denounce Iranian hostile actions and then form a group to defend against any such Iranian attacks in the future.
What do you reckon, though? I mean, it would be pretty odd, wouldn't it, for Iran to attack a cargo of oil heading for Japan at a time when the Japanese Prime Minister is in Tehran for the first official visit in decades. We were talking just recently to one of your military colleagues, Lieutenant Colonel Daniel Davis. He was saying he doesn't really feel this proof is proof at all, but that things are at a very dangerous stage.
Well, I didn't say things are not in a dangerous state. I said this should be an issue of international concern, but I don't think it's surprising at all, particularly when one takes into account the consideration of the fact that these attacks are fully consistent with Iran's own declaration back in April 22nd that it intended to disrupt the flow of oil through the Straits of Hormuz. And what a better time to attack a Japanese ship or Japanese-owned ship to cover to do so when the Prime Minister of Japan is visiting Iran.
What do you make of the argument that the US is deliberately pushing Iran here? I mean, the US pulled out of an international agreement intended to limit Iran's nuclear program at a time when the other signatories, major world powers, were saying Iran was keeping to that agreement. Since then, it's been threatening Iran. And we know that from way back, the National Security Advisor John Bolton was in favor of a war with Iran.
Those are opinions. I think it's nonsense to suggest that the United States is interested in conflict in the region, particularly when the president has indicated that he is not interested in any such conflict. And the fact of the matter is the U.S. Or any of the other GCC nations are not aggressors in this case. It is Iran who has a consistent history of over 40 years of unprovoked aggressive actions in the region. So I think that line of argument is really fallacious.
Okay, thank you very much indeed for talking to us.
You bet. Have a great